Guys, yo, check this view out. Check this view out right here. Look at this. Look at this. Beautiful view. Beverly Hills, California. We are literally Airbnb-ing in a $5 million mansion. $5 million mansion. I took a little mini vacation. And about 2 days ago, I did a recording with BitBoy Crypto, one of the fastest growing YouTube channels. You guys know I talk about investments all the time. And how do you make money work for you? But if you don't have a lot of capital to start up with, to be sustainable and to become financially independent, you got to find other revenue streams. And one of the biggest ones to become stable, and I experienced this firsthand, is cash flow. So in this video with the special guest, BitBoy Crypto, we're going to be talking about how you could potentially make your own cryptocurrency channel, your own cryptocurrency business, and market it. We're going to give you a whole bunch of gems. Keep watching. All right, what's going on, guys? Alex back with another cryptocurrency video, and I got a special guest here, BitBoy Crypto, to talk about some marketing stuff. I saw you coming up in the industry. I literally saw your channel go from like 10K subscribers to like 62 now, 63, depending on when you guys are watching this video, in less than what 3-4 months, 6 months?
This year, yeah. I mean, February is when things really started blowing up for me.
Nice. So tell us about like your story in general, because I know you've been making content for a very long time.
Yeah, I've been making content on YouTube for about 2.5 years now. And of course, I got into Bitcoin back in 2012. So I've got a lot of history with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, a lot of history with selling too early. So I know all about that.
Yeah.
And that really is something that drives me in the crypto space, is to be able to teach people about, I don't get too much in the technology, but just understand decentralization and what Bitcoin is and what cryptocurrency is and what kind of revolution it is, so that people don't just look at it like, I'll buy into this coin and then it'll pump and I'll make a little bit of money. Like, we're all in this for the long haul. And so that's kind of what I try to preach to my people on the channel and, things like that. So, yeah, I've been making videos on YouTube for about 2.5 years, but, over the last 6 months, things have really, for 2 years I was making basically nothing, on this channel. And then things have exploded. This year has definitely been refreshing.
Nice. And so like, what was your first step into crypto? Did you like get in completely crypto, or is there like a motivator that got you into crypto?
Yeah. So I was kind of forced to buy Bitcoin in some ways. So I was using a software that I would post ads on Craigslist. At one time, I had a really successful online ticket business. So at one time, I was like 1% of Craigslist ads. I was posting like 800,000 ads a day. I had like 15, 16 computers running nonstop. And then they used to have this feature where you could renew your ads every 24 hours. And it was just going crazy. Well, Craigslist didn't like that. And so the software I was using, they shut that guy down. And he couldn't take, he had all his payment processing shut down also. So he came across Bitcoin and said, hey, if you want to keep the software running, you got to make your monthly payment with this. It was a big hassle. People really don't understand the lack of education or information that was out there at that time. It was so hard to figure out how to do anything. So that would have been in December of 2012. And then I sold virtually all of my Bitcoin from the early days in November of 2013 when it pumped pretty big. And then I would have lost it anyways because I had it on Mt. Gox. So that happened just a few months later. So,
Man.
Yeah. And, I never thought when I was buying this stuff that it was going to go up in value. Like, I only looked at it like I was buying it to purchase this software. And then one day I went and looked at my account and my money that was in my account had just skyrocketed. And I was like, maybe there's something, maybe there's something here.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you, how you got into like making the YouTube videos. You obviously had the marketing background, the way you did like the Craigslist. I mean, some people would call it marketing. So like with cryptocurrency specifically, how did you get into the marketing realm of making videos for cryptocurrency?
Yeah. So when it comes to marketing, kind of with what I was doing before with Craigslist, so you could basically say I've been in internet marketing for a long time, for almost 10 years. However, I was in this really cornered niche of classified ads marketing, right? Nothing you do when you're posting on Craigslist, even though the great business model, especially back in the day, nothing that you're doing on Craigslist really applies to anything else. You're not having to do SEO. You're not having to worry about organic reach. It's just you put the ad out there and people see it. And so for me, like trying to, continue doing online businesses after some changes occurred and my ticket business kind of went south, it took a lot to try to find different ways to get into internet marketing because I like being an entrepreneur. I like making money online. I don't like working a 9-to-5 job because I I don't want to work for anybody else. So, starting a YouTube channel was so kind of foreign to, my previous background. I've done a lot of public speaking though, with different things I've done in the past. So, that part didn't necessarily come very difficult for me. But it was more learning how to create premium content on YouTube that was the big difference. And, what I've really learned about YouTube over the last, 6 months and how to market myself on here is, people in crypto just got lazy, and I'm not calling out any specific content creators by any stretch of the imagination. You got guys that got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, whatever the case may be. But when I say lazy, like they don't have to have any production value to their videos. They just get on, they talk about Bitcoin, and people watch because they've been watching them since 2017 or, since 2018, whatever. And they don't have to rely a lot on creating high quality videos. And so for me, my strategy, once I kind of figured out the formula, was to just keep scaling that up and making my videos, more and more professional. And that has really made a huge difference for me. And I hope in a bull run, when people come back in the space, that the quality, the channels that put a lot of time, into what they're doing, I think those will be very appreciated during that time.
Yeah, I experienced the same thing. I saw that. You're right. I wouldn't. You could call it lazy. You could call it whatever you want. But the bear run. People lost interest.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started putting out, like you said, scripts, the editing, putting time into understanding the structure of the video, I saw an immediate spike as well in my subscribers. So for the people that are watching this, that are looking to start your own cryptocurrency channel or your own, business in this space when it comes to marketing, you can have that advantage by just taking a little bit extra time with your videos. And I think that's really good insight by BitBoy, because he grew what are you, like one of the fastest growing cryptocurrency YouTubers right now?
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that blew up since, in such a short time period like my channel has, since January.
Yeah.
So I loved it when people would say, in the beginning, when it started going up, when I went from about 12K around the beginning of the year to, 20K, I was getting all these comments like, slow down on buying the subscribers, and I was like, I took that as a compliment. Like, finally, I've hit this point where I'm growing, and there's some haters out there or whatever. And so, obviously I didn't do any of that, it's all been organic. And I think over the, last several months, everybody's been able to see that, so.
Nice. So I know you kind of touched on it before. You said you kind of made nothing. You're kind of doing it for free. But I want you to, if you can, go into a little bit more detail for people that, kind of have to have that faith, because you're putting massive amounts of work in for virtually nothing in the beginning.
Yeah.
So how would you tell someone that's going to just start for themselves how they would overcome that obstacle, and maybe some details about your situation when you first started?
Yeah. I think that really building on other people's knowledge and experience to make shortcuts for yourself. Because for me, when I first started my channel, like I said, I've got to hit, background in public speaking and different things like that. I thought I could just get on and talk, and that would be enough, because that's what I saw other people doing. But I go back to the very beginning of my, YouTube journey. I actually had one other channel before in the past, one of my many, businesses I started and failed, in between having one super successful one and now. And, there was a guy who was coaching me, because I decided I was going to quit that YouTube channel. I never wanted to do it again. And this guy approached me. He's like, you should do another YouTube channel. You got a lot of knowledge. You know a lot about crypto. You should do a channel. But he just told me, the reason your other one failed is because it wasn't better than anybody else's channels, and it was in this weird niche or whatever. He said, you always have to do what your competitors are doing, but do it better. And even though he told me that, it didn't really sink in, I still felt like I could just get on and talk about crypto and build a subscriber base. And I did, 10,000 subscribers. That's more than most people ever get on YouTube, for sure. But it wasn't good enough. And I just got to where I was just an hour before a video, I was just throwing some stories together and talking about it, no structure. And I would just ramble and ramble and ramble. As you guys can see, I really like to talk. So, I wish I would have listened to him more in the beginning and would have taken the time to do things right, get the right equipment. There is this way of thinking, like Gary Vee says, where it's just get in there and do, just get in there and create. And that's a positive thing. You learn a lot, and that's good, but just don't ignore the advice that other people are telling you, and that was really a big mistake that I made, in the beginning. And certainly I would not say, just trying to make money on YouTube your main focus for the first couple years, because you're just not going to do it.
Yeah, the same thing for me. You know, when I first started, hardly anything. Actually, I had a part-time job. I was working just to make ends meet, and YouTube provided me nothing for almost a year straight. So yeah, it's the audience thing. It's a big, and then I'm sure you can imagine, which is going to come to my next topic. There was like a moment, right, where like it kind of, the snowball fell over, right? And there was when you jumped from, like you said, 12 to 20K or whatever the case may be. What was that moment for you, and how did it feel for your income? For, you know, how many people you're touching, like what was that? Do you remember a specific moment where you felt that, like the break moment?
Yeah. I mean, it was in February, and things just started popping up for my channel. And it was funny, like right after I really started blowing up, we had the giant market crash, and I was like, oh no, like I just hit this momentum, and now this recession and this market, and I'm not going to be able to keep growing. But I just kept, you know, creating videos, and, you know, the subscribers just kept coming in. And it just felt like a lot of relief, really, you know, relief, and, you know, feeling like all of this work that I had been doing had actually been worth it for this whole time, because there were a lot of times that I definitely wanted to give up. I mean, I'll even go back to January. In January, before the price started going up again, you know, if you remember, it was down like around 6-7K, and people were like, you know, it was like the doldrums of crypto. Nobody cared anymore. And it was like, what am I doing with my life? You know, like I'm making Bitcoin videos for a living, and like, who am I, you know? And I was like, maybe I should just quit this and try something else. I got another friend that was in crypto that ended up getting out and getting a regular job, and I'm just not a regular job kind of guy. So I tried to continue to make it work. So finally, after going through my lowest points in December and January of thinking like, maybe this just isn't going to work, to finally in February, when things really started taking off, like it really, like I said, was just a relief that I was finally going to be able to get some of that return. And yeah, financially things have been great. You know, my YouTube channel has gone from, 2 years where I never made over $200 in 1 month from YouTube ads to, you know, making well above that. So last month was, you know, pretty incredible. I don't know if this month will match it, but, you know, I'm making a decent living just off of my YouTube ads program alone. So
yeah. Would you say like, and you don't have to answer it, but would you say like 4 to 5 figure range for last month? Because I know a lot of people, that's what they want to hear, you know?
Well, I made a video where I talked about it, 15K last month.
Oh, nice. So yeah, so for the people that, you know, because I have a lot of guys with a lot of money and stuff, and they're investing in crypto, and they're like, oh man, you're just a YouTuber. And, you know, that's true, but there's not a lot of jobs out there that pay, you know, once you get to that point, as well as job security, we can technically do this from anywhere, everywhere, right? Yeah. And I think it's pretty cool to have that opportunity as a YouTuber, right? So you described your first break moment. You showed us where you came from, the trials and tribulations, the hero's journey. That's great, because I kind of experienced all this, and it's great to hear it from another cryptocurrency YouTuber. So there's one thing I really admire about you, right? And one of the things is that you're extremely consistent. Like you got me on that one. I'll tell you that much. I get like 2 to 3 uploads, you know, a week at most, and you're just every single day. And there's sometimes, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw you were even uploading 2 videos a day at some point. Was that?
Yeah, I do. I try to do 10 to 12 videos a week.
Wow. So what's your secret, man? I have to know, like, what's your secret? How do you get so much content out on a consistent basis?
Man, work, you know, like hard work. I mean, I had been working 16 to 18 hours a day for about 6 months. I recently just, people noticed, you know, changing my background and stuff. I recently have an office space now. So I'm actually I have a studio. I have 2 different studios in here built, and I hired 2 full-time editors who are here with me every week now. So I've been doing everything myself for my whole YouTube career. Every edit, everything. So over the last about 5 to 6 weeks, I finally brought on a couple of people to help me, and they've been very valuable. So now I could do like a better job of like focusing on the scripts and the thumbnails, which, you know, the thumbnails and the titles are really the most important thing of your whole video. People don't like to hear that, but it's true.
It's true.
So, you know, it's been freeing for me to be able to do those things and know that like now I can actually, for the most part during the week, like go home at 5 o'clock and actually be there with my family instead of like constantly working in my office while my family's out there living their life, you know?
Yeah.
But that's, you know, that's the thing about it. Like people always say like, well, you know, you don't want to you never want to take time away from your family. You got to do this, you got to do that. But I look at it a little bit different because my goal is to retire very early, like that's my goal. And so right now this has been, the grunt work that I've been doing for the last couple of years. And so, this is so like, this time period now where I'm able to spend more time with my family. And then going forward 2 years from now, like I'll be able to spend a lot more time with my family because I took this about a 1 year period to just really work my tail off, on everything. So, hopefully I'm going to be able to experience, some more, fruits of that labor soon.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. So we got a couple of questions, maybe 3 or 4 left. And then for the viewers, we got some juicy content at the end. So stick tuned for that. So really quickly, I know you talk about, altcoins a lot. What's like just a quick rough, summary of how you would be able to evaluate these cryptocurrencies to find the undervalued cryptos?
Yeah. Well, I just did a video on this recently where, I explained kind of the number side of things looking on CoinMarketCap. I think you work with Token Metrics too.
Yeah, I work with Token Metrics.
Yeah, Token Metrics has been really great. Kind of for shortcuts to pick some good coins. My last 2 months, I've absolutely crushed it. Two over 100%, one 240% winner, 160% winner.
Nice.
So Token Metrics is definitely like legit.
Yeah,
that's not a shill. Like it really is. Yeah, it's really good. So that's one side of it. But when you're looking for the really low cap gems, like, even Token Metrics doesn't have all the projects. What I tend to do is I think name recognition is really important. So, a lot of times it sounds like almost elementary, but I go down the list of CoinMarketCap looking for coins that I've heard of or I think that I've heard of. Like, wait, I think I heard this one mentioned somewhere.
Yeah. And then back in the day, right?
Yeah. Either back in the day or like maybe even recently, like somebody said something about this coin and it didn't really register with me. And so, I'm looking for name recognition because even if something like triggers something in your mind, like you think you know that coin, but you don't, then that's good branding. Like that's a great name for the coin that it can do that to you, So then you look at market cap. It just depends on what kind of coin you're wanting to invest in. If you're wanting to invest in, a 1,000x possible coin, then you're not going to want to invest in something that already has a $25 million market cap, or a $50 million market cap. The math just doesn't really work out. So, you got to look at the volume and the charts. There's 2 charts that I always try to stay away from. One chart is, the obvious pump and dump charts, where it's just like BART pattern. And then the ones that have the real jagged movement, it's just like, I compare it. It looks like a stable coin, bouncing between, a penny and a penny one, $1 and $1. But, it's not a stable coin. So you got to figure out like, why are they trying to keep it in this range? So I try to stay away from charts like that. And when you use that kind of method, you can really isolate some good projects.
Nice. Good answer. Okay. So just for a newbie, I have a lot of people always asking me, Alex, I want to start a crypto channel. I want to start, this crypto marketing business. What would be your number one advice for them starting their channel?
Number one piece of advice, I would say is the details matter, like focus on the details. I did, the first YouTuber I ever did a collaboration with, a live stream with was Crypto Love. And I had like 1,000 subscribers. I was surprised he even, asked me to come on his channel. He had like 80,000 or something at the time.
Nice. And
he brought me on and, he's a good friend of mine now, but he was telling me, kind of off air at that point about the importance of thumbnails, and like, he's like, look, you got to spend as much time on your thumbnails as you do on anything else. And that seems counterintuitive, right? Like you would think your actual content is the most important thing, but YouTube has no way to judge your content other than watch time. Like once a video pops up there, like it has